Just hyper.directory, connecting customers to businesses when it matters most.
5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Beautiful Thursday morning. Nice looking sunny day. Doesn't look like much chance of a rain today. Tomorrow and Saturday looks like there's a chance of rain. And tomorrow is the first day of autumn, by the way, just in case you were keeping track of that kind of thing. This feels like summer still in the afternoon, but I think the morning is starting to feel a little autumn-y, I guess. Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Where are you right now?
Just on my way to Gainesville. And I'll tell you what, if you're out at night right now, you better have some bug spray on you because the mosquitoes are
Oh, really?
dangerous. Man, they're big. Yeah, they're bad right now because of all the rain we've had.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, they're brutal.
Still a lot of standing water. Still a lot of rising. The water hasn't finished rising yet. Did you see that?
No.
Are you noticing it on Payne's Prairie?
Absolutely. Payne's Prairie, they have this little fence that goes, to keep, I guess, the alligators off the highway.
Right.
And it's underwater. It's underwater.
Is it really? Oh, my gosh. And can you tell it's still rising?
Well, I mean, it's not like you could see it rising, but, from where it was, before the storm, you could definitely see how far up it is. It's probably up 6 inches.
Yeah. They say Orange Lake is not done rising yet. I guess it's still trickling down from wherever it fell and then got absorbed or something. Probably the aquifer, that kind of thing.
They could use it. Orange Lake could use it. I mean, that's hard to believe. But, 10 years ago, was it 10 years? Maybe. 10 years ago, they thought they were going to lose the lake completely, and now it's coming back. So it's good to see.
Yeah. Are you, or rather, is LifeSouth involved in any way with getting blood over to Puerto Rico? Do we need to do that?
No. Well, the Puerto Rico has had so many problems over the last 2 to 3 years. They had the Zika outbreak where they completely cut them off and said you cannot collect your own blood anymore.
Really?
And so we were sending blood to them then because there was no test for Zika, and they were really the Zika problem wasn't that big here in the United States, but it was a massive problem in Puerto Rico, and so they stopped them from collecting blood inside of Puerto Rico, and so we were shipping them units every week. I am sure we will be sending them products today or tomorrow. The storm just finished going through Puerto Rico, this morning. So I'm not sure what they need or where they're at, but I'm sure we're going to help them.
It said 100% of the electricity was not working over there. So what does that, what would that mean for you in LifeSouth if you had no electricity? The blood would all have to be tossed away, wouldn't it?
No, we have generators. When they say that, that means the grid is down, but, every hospital in Puerto Rico still has generators. The blood bank still has generators. I've been to that blood center a couple of times.
Wow.
And so, they have generators for all of the blood to be stored properly and things like that. It's the hard part, when you go through that, is getting the blood from the blood center to the hospital. If you think about all the road closures and the flooding and the power lines down, that's where the real pain comes in, and the hospital will have enough to get through probably the next 2 or 3 days. It's after that's when the real struggle comes in, and that's when we'll ship them blood. Probably won't be today, probably won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be Saturday. Sunday, Monday, my friend.
Do you know, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the gasoline problem that we had prior to the storm. Your assessment was that people were being foolish and premature, etc. The governor and some of the folks up in Tallahassee are saying we just weren't prepared enough for the sudden demand. And so they're asking for a study to be done so that we can know next time that we have enough gasoline to make sure that we don't have the shortages we saw this time. I can't even imagine how they would do that. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, would they? I mean, you can't mandate people you don't buy gas. I mean, what would you say? What do you think would be the solution there?
You could ration gas. Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's been done in the past. It's done during times of crisis. Why could you not ration gas?
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. But so let's say you have to evacuate Key West, and your evacuation choice is Atlanta. That's a pretty far drive.
Absolutely.
But if your ration won't get you there, that doesn't make sense either.
Well, no. If you could, okay, because they were doing this at gas stations all throughout town on Monday and Tuesday, where you could only get 5 gallons. 5 gallons at a pop, and you could only fill one container. When you go to a gas station and there's somebody putting 100 gallons in their RV,
right, yeah.
They're putting 50 gallons in their truck. They're putting 30 gallons in their, between their car, and then more gas cans. That's where all the gasoline went, is because people who were not evacuating, and they wanted to top off, and so instead of having a half a tank, they had a full tank. And they weren't going anywhere but around the block to go park their car in their garage.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah,
that's the problem I have.
Well, maybe
that's the problem I have.
Well, maybe that's what our legislators are saying. Also, maybe they're saying, "Look, we need to make rules regarding the consumption of gasoline whenever there's a crisis declared or an emergency declared."
Right, and I think that's absolutely proper. I mean, if it's we always talk about how gas is this natural resource; it's a precious resource. We should save it. Well, then, during a time of crisis, there's no place to really store, 20,000 gallons of gasoline anywhere around here. They're brought in by gas trucks.
Yeah,
gas trucks aren't on the road.
Yeah.
There's the problem, because they're told to get off the road because of everybody evacuating. Yeah, I mean, the problem was caused by people on Monday and Tuesday panicking and going, "Oh, I got to fill up my car." And they weren't going anywhere.
So maybe
I really believe. I mean, I don't know that, but I believe that.
So the point in time that we start rationing should be the moment the governor says we have declaring a state of emergency. Not only should that declaration free up some money when it's needed for like the Coast Guard, and the Highway Patrol and those folks, but also to I guess make a rule or a law that says, look, you can only, what do you say, 5 gallons is what you were doing up there?
Sure, whatever that number is. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Well, I think...
And because if you really want to be prepared, then you need to have that gas stored for your generator beforehand. And there's no reason to fill up your car.
Well,
you're not going anywhere.
All the more reason why, when news media, and by the way, news media got some accolades this morning on one of the news outlets, but for the storm. All the more reason why news media should be talking about storms when they're still off the coast of Africa. Because if you hear about that, then you say, you know what, there's another one coming. I'm going to take care of it right now before the governor puts a cap on the gasoline amount.
How many storms are created off the coast of Africa a year? Like 30, 35?
Okay. Well, I hear what you're going to. I hear the direction of your argument, but my point is, when there's a meteorologist who says, here's the path of the cone, and they always do this. And if it looks like it's coming this way, just pay attention to it. And because we all mention it, everybody in the radio business mentions it.
Yeah, but you don't even know where the cone is until even then it's not very good. I mean, when that storm's off the coast of Africa, they don't know where it's going yet. But 90% of them don't hit landfall of any kind anywhere.
Well, Maria was forecast to be following the same path as Irma. It did not completely, but it did partially. So I think even before Maria, we should have been prepared, even though it didn't come this way.
Exactly. I just give kudos.
And what does prepare mean?
What you just said.
Mean you go out and you fill up every. That's fine, I guess, if you do it 3 weeks in advance. But again, there are people who have to evacuate, and they weren't able to get gas. That to me is a big problem. When to me, being prepared means I have gas in my garage for my generator for 4 days.
Right. Well, whatever it means to you.
That's about 15 gallons. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I go and fill up every gas tank I have in my house.
Yeah, but
I don't take 100 gallons and put it in my RV.
Right.
But I'm not going to drive for another month.
So are you? Yeah, but okay. I don't think you're saying though that without a declaration of emergency, we should still have laws regarding that. You should be a free person. You should be able to buy as much as you want.
Exactly.
Sure, of course, yeah. But once that state of emergency is put into effect,
Right.
I think that's when we should go into 5 gallons. You're allowed 5 gallons.
Or whatever. And that's exactly what I'm saying. But before that state of emergency, if you pay attention to the meteorologists, whether you agree with them or not, here comes one, and I'm going to go prepare. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Nothing happens. That's the worst that can happen.
All right, fair enough. And you should only have to do that once. I mean, once you have the gasoline you need for the hurricane season, it's pretty rare for us to get a hurricane that hits our area. Then you should be set for the year. I have no problem with that, but you could even do that before hurricanes even hit. You could do that in early September, end of October.
Well, I think the people that took precautions early on were very smart, whether they got water, food, non-perishable food items, gasoline, things like that, because if everybody were to have waited until Saturday, there would have been riots, there would have been fist fights, people would have beat other people up, and that wouldn't have been good. So I like the way everything was being handled, just my personal opinion.
So and again, I understand that, but I think there's a right way to do it. There's no reason for one family to consume 200 gallons of gas, and I know of specific examples, more than one, where that happened, and I think that's an issue. That's an issue.
Well, the thing is that our legislators are doing a study to determine what is the best thing to do to make the next time a little bit easier for people to evacuate. And I have here some pointless studies. Now, that's a point that study is a good study, but I have here some...
We'll see. It probably won't come up with anything that we haven't already just talked about. So,
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.
And how much does it cost?
Yeah. Oh, yes. The cost, of course. All right. So I have some pointless studies I want to tell you about. Before we do that, how's the blood supply?
Again, we still need platelets. That's kind of where we're at right now, and I know we're going to need to help Puerto Rico in some form or fashion. So we just need people to get out there, give the gift of life, and donate blood and save 3 lives. People sometimes only donate during a crisis. Well, the truth is that people need that blood every day. Every 2 seconds, someone in this country receives a blood transfusion.
That's right.
So please, just get out there and give the gift of life. Donate blood.
All right. So on the other side, I will bring to you this little bit that I prepared called Fascinating But Pointless Studies.
Okay. I like that.
And we need to thank Palm Garden of Ocala and Penn Flooring for sponsoring the announcement Galen just gave that without our voluntary efforts as blood donors, there is no blood supply, and without a blood supply, people will die needlessly because there can be lives saved if people will just donate blood. Thank Palm Garden. Take a tour. Find out how their services can benefit you or a loved one in the future. The building is at 2700 Southwest 34th Street, and Penn Flooring has a showroom for flooring needs at 1201 Southwest 17th Street, right over the McKay-Williams Bridge. We will be right back.
I'm Jan Marino from Palm Garden of Ocala, and I'd like to tell you about the Palm Garden Way. We promote individual care, of course, but we also encourage GEMS. That's going the extra mile, and these are thoughtful individual gifts that make each guest stay special. A gem could be a daily latte or a new book or something else that means a lot to our guest. To find out more about the Palm Garden Way, take a tour, located on the corner of 27th Avenue and 34th Street in Ocala.
The entire world watched. They watched each step down the rungs of that small ladder, one after another, and waited with great anticipation for that last step.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
At that moment, humanity saw the impossible become the possible. And today, the sky is not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
LifeSouth would like to honor and thank all of our Hispanic blood donors during Hispanic Heritage Month. O-negative blood is the most commonly used because it is the universal donor, and 66% of the Hispanic population is type O. Hispanic donors are more likely to be a match with Hispanic patients. Make sure you do your part for your community by finding your nearest blood mobile or center. Visit lifesouth.org for more information. Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. Galen, that was a coincidence that we had like a Hispanic LifeSouth ad right there. That was we didn't plan that. Isn't that weird?
Oh,
Cool.
Could you hear it on the phone?
yeah, yeah.
So this is Hispanic something month, and that's why that's on right now. What?
It's Hispanic month. Yeah.
Hispanic
Blood
something.
donor
Something
month.
month or something.
Anyway, so that was kind of cute. Did you guys make that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty
Was she exaggerating her accent, or is that the way she talks?
A little bit. You know, we talked about it, and she says, "Well, that's the way I talk at home." I said, "Okay." She doesn't. It's not that thick when she's at work.
Neat.
So she works for us.
And what does hasta pronto mean? Right now? Right now. Hasta pronto.
Hurry up. Right now. Yeah.
All right, here we go. I have some fascinating but pointless studies to tell you about. There was a study done to decide whether or not denim jeans ever need to be washed.
Okay.
Yeah,
How much did that cost?
it doesn't say.
They smell if you don't.
What was
wash
the
them.
solution? I think we all need to know. What was the answer, Larry? Yes or no?
The answer is they
Or is it undetermined?
They do not need to be washed unless you consider standing in the rain washing them.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh my.
It says when
not?
swabbed,
I like it.
when swabbed, the jeans showed normal levels of bacteria compared to a pair worn for a few days, suggesting that they never really need to be washed.
Oh gee.
Remember back in the day when you could only have like 2 pair of jeans and you wore them, 3 times a week?
Yeah.
Right, the school?
Exactly.
So there you go.
Now my kids don't wear the same. They can wear shorts, which is helpful, but they don't wear the same clothes for like a month to school.
No.
Crazy.
Dr. Donald Unger decided to prove that cracking your knuckles was not dangerous, so he cracked the knuckles on one hand for every day for 50 years, and he says his left hand is just as healthy as his right.
Really?
There you go.
Wow.
There you
Well, there you go.
I don't think anybody paid him to do that, though.
No.
Here was a study done by researchers at the University of Tokyo that found that cats can distinguish between the voices of strangers and those of their owners.
Well, I bet
They
they
just
can.
choose not to.
Cats are able to recognize their owner's voice. All right, there you go. The next study, done by the University of Melbourne in Melbourne, Australia, conducted over the years, have shown that for whatever reason, shorter men are less attractive to women.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
There's all kinds of studies on height and how important height is. And I mean, forever, the tallest candidate for president, up until TV really changed it, now people stand on pedestals. The tallest candidate won, like every presidential election. If you go back in time, and whoever's the tallest won.
A study by the University of Illinois showed
disagree with
a comprehensive.
Oh, and by the way, if you could look at how many CEOs
Uh-huh.
are under 6 foot that are men. It's like 4% or something like that.
Oh, I got a story to tell you. Yesterday I was at Publix, right? And I went over to get some unsweet tea. All right, and a pretty little blonde girl came out and she said hello. And I said, hey, how you doing? And then I was standing there and waiting for Robin. And then a young man came through the front door, and that same pretty blonde said hello. And he goes, the boy says, oh, are you the new manager? And she goes, yes, I am. And he goes, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Eric, whatever, right? And then he walks past me, Galen, and he does this. Whoa.
He's never going to be late again.
I said, I bet he went back to his other workers. He said, have you met the new boss? Holy mackerel.
That's awesome.
So she was not tall, by the way. So she's in the head. She's right now the head of that
Yeah,
store.
but it's different for women.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I
you
think
know-
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you can be shorter or short. I don't know, but I don't want to offend anybody who's short, I guess. But yeah, it's much better for if a girl is short than.
Wouldn't you like to know, Robin, as a woman? Wouldn't you like to know that guy said, "Whoa"? Wouldn't that be like good feeling for you?
Oh, that'd be a great feeling. That'd be a wonderful feeling.
Not in today's society.
No?
You know, you got to be No, you got to be very careful of that. Yeah, I mean, that's a big issue. I think, like, if I was to do that at work and somebody said, "Wow, you know," Galen said, "Whoa," and I would be like, it would be like, Galen, you can't do that.
Have you ever had a new female employee that knocked your socks off? I mean, just man to man.
Yeah.
You said to me later on, Larry, this new girl started working with us. Oh my God, has that ever happened? Yeah.
Sure, of course.
Well, you're going to have to try it so we know what the reaction's going to be.
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
It gets me in enough trouble.
All right, here's another one. This is from the University of Illinois. A comprehensive study at that school showed that the testicles of male howler monkeys are louder. They scream the smaller their testicles.
Oh, you had that story.
Right.
You told me that. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, we had this one.
That's why I'm so quiet. That's why I'm so quiet. Again, I don't know what the advantage of having big testicles is, but I guess because I have them, Larry, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
In 2005, British researchers attempted to answer the question that asked, "Where have all the teaspoons gone?" Apparently, on average, 250 teaspoons per year disappear. About 600,000 or so from the UK.
In England.
So teaspoons have a half-life, is the conclusion.
So are their teaspoons different than like our teaspoons? They're more special looking, or?
They disappear, though. That's the point.
Oh, we have to go there and find out.
They disappear here, too. So do pens.
Yeah.
Pens disappear.
But that's okay. Pens are made to be disappearing.
Oh, here's a good one. You're going to like this one, Galen. In 2011, in North Korea, researchers found that out of every single country on Earth, the nation of North Korea was the second happiest nation on the planet.
Second half.
Yes.
Who was the first?
Let me find out who's the first. North Korea is.
How in the world is the Rocket Man allowing him to be number 2 in anything?
I know.
Exactly. Now he's
the guy who's never had a bowel movement. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like number 2.
He's got a challenge now. Forget those nukes. He's gonna, try to be number 1 in this. Happy.
Well, North Korea, South Korea, nor United States were number 1. What was number 1? North Korea.
It was probably he's happy then.
North Korea is number 2. It doesn't say which is number 1 though.
Some little island nation that one dude owns and goes, yes, I'm happy.
Well, they're afraid to post the number 1 because they feel Kim Jong-un will blow it up and then he'll be number 1.
Here's a study. 250 children in Sheffield, England were asked between the ages of 4 and 16.
By the way, how do you say Sheffield, England without an accent?
These children between the ages
Sheffield,
of
England.
4 and 16, and 250 out of 250 said that clowns are scary.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yes, they are.
Oh, look at movies. Movies made them scary.
Except Clowns for Christ with Dee Collier and her group. They're the cutest. Like you say, Larry, they are the cutest clowns.
I'm sorry, I get, it's weird. Because of, who is the serial killer who just as a count? Casey?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, all those. It's just, I don't know. I don't like them.
In 2011, a team of researchers went to 17 different baseball stadiums and found that hot dogs taste better in the stadium than the exact same hot dog at home.
Yes, they do.
Of course they do.
Wow.
The environment.
And Guinness tastes better in Ireland, it says here.
I bet. I'll have to ask TJ.
Sure it does.
Now, why would that be? Why would that be?
Because it's fresh from the vat. It doesn't have to travel.
And finally, in 2013, there was a study that concluded that venting online just makes you angrier. There you go.
It's like going outside and just screaming at the wind. It's pointless.
Yeah, right.
All right. There's your studies for the day. The best one, of course, the study of gasoline use and how we're going to avoid this problem we had this last evacuation. Yeah.
So go ahead and fill up all those tanks now, and then you'll be set for the rest of the year.
Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, Bloodmobile's actually closed to the public, but our donor center is open right there at 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard across the street from the Cascades.
What's the Spanish lady's name that's on that commercial?
Maria.
Maria!
Woo!
Hasta pronto. Hasta pronto. All right, Galen, thank you.
All right, you guys are the best. Bye, y'all.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Power's out across Puerto Rico, and there's destruction like they've never seen before from Hurricane Maria. USA Today reporter Rick Jervis tells Fox Business Network,
if you don't have a backup generator, you don't have power. Cell phone towers are down for most of the networks. And a lot of these neighborhoods in the more rural areas are really devastated and really need search and rescue teams going in there.
the storm's passing by the Dominican Republic now, moving toward Turks and Caicos. The Securities and Exchange Commission's revealing a computer hack last year.
In a statement, the chair says they learned just last month that the hacked material was possibly used for illegal trading. The SEC says the hackers got into its filing system, which processes nearly 2 million electronic filings from companies in any given year.
Fox's Jill Nato in Washington. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Worried you're one of the millions whose identity may have been compromised in the recent breach? Be one of the millions who trust their identity protection to LifeLock. We use proprietary technology to detect a range of threats to your identity, from your personal information appearing on the dark web to payday loans in your name and a wide range of other threats. And if there's a problem, our identity restoration specialists will work to fix it. They know the steps to take and calls to make to resolve problems. Of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but rest assured that LifeLock has been helping people come out on the bright side of identity theft for over a decade. Join starting at $9.99 plus applicable taxes. Signing up online takes only minutes. Go to lifelock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock to get 10% off when you enter promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS.